I'm Adrian, the cruise and travel guy. The announcement came just days ago that after a single season operating down under, Virgin Voyages will not be returning to Australia for a second season. The reason? Continuing conflict in the Red Sea. When the announcement was made, disappointment ran rife across social media, but with that came some people questioning whether there was more to the story than meets the eye. Virgin Voyages' first ever Australian cruise season was the most hyped up cruise launch this country has ever seen, and I suspect will ever see until something like an Oasis-class ship makes its way down under. Don't hold your breath for that one. Virgin's PR and marketing team did a fantastic job selling the Virgin Voyages dream, with Resilient Lady's December debut in Sydney Harbour met with press conferences, media stunts, star-studded events, and even multiple sell-out open nights. That Virgin dream very much became a reality as Aussies got to experience firsthand what that Virgin dream looked and felt like right in our own backyard. The first signs of an issue with the second season came about a month ago, at the end of January, when Virgin Voyages pulled from sale the entirety of the second season. The company announced that future itineraries would be under review, and most of us assumed that a range of updated voyages would be offered in place of those that were removed. But just days ago, Virgin Voyages announced the complete cancellation of the second season. Slated to begin in late 2024, Resilient Lady was due to set sail from Athens down to Sydney via the Red Sea and Suez Canal. However, ongoing conflict in that region and the very real danger posed to cargo and cruise ship traffic resulted in Virgin pulling the plug on the season entirely. Instead, Resilient Lady will relocate to the hottest cruise market in the world, the Caribbean. While the Red Sea conflict is a very real issue that cruise lines are contending with, many people have questioned whether it is simply one piece of a bigger puzzle that was just too difficult to put back together. There are a few fair and some unfair criticisms that have been leveled at Virgin Voyages during its first Australian season. Several stick out. The first has to do with the cruise line's chosen itineraries. For a debut season, it's understandable that Virgin wanted to get as many people as possible to sample their product, and shorter itineraries are preferable for that purpose. However, many people complained about the repetitious nature of the voyages, with most sailing from Melbourne to the cooler climate of Hobart, a beautiful city and harbour, but not a place that one dreams of when they think about the South Pacific. Some longer itineraries, such as those to New Zealand, were so slow to sell that they were even eliminated altogether and replaced with additional shorter cruises to Tasmania. Many also questioned whether Resilient Lady's home port of Melbourne was the right choice. At a pre-launch event held in Sydney in early 2023, the Virgin Voyages team made it clear that their first choice was Sydney. Limited port availability, particularly around weekends, meant it wasn't a viable option. Frankly, in my experience, when Australians take annual leave, we don't tend to care what day of the week it falls on. Short cruises from Sydney could have more readily sailed north to the warmer climates of Moreton Island or even Airlie Beach. Likewise, Virgin could have opted for the Disney path and homeported in different cities more regularly. As a new brand and cruise experience entering the Australian market, I was honestly surprised that I didn't see advertising appear until quite late last year. Billboards went up and TV ads went live only a few months before Resilient Lady's arrival into Sydney Harbour, and I don't think that worked well with the Australian public. We do tend to book our trips at least 12 months in advance. I think this delayed advertising start did have an impact on bookings across the season. Adding to that, the cruise line faced some issues on the pricing front, especially with the initial sales launch when cost became a known factor. Virgin responded to this by lowering fares and highlighting promotional rates, which included complimentary bar tabs. Purely speculative in nature, many people have alleged that a lot of these recent Virgin Voyages cruises have been filled, at least in part, with those traveling on heavily reduced or even comped rates. Members of the travel industry in particular were provided with strong incentives to sell the product, with many receiving complimentary cabins to use throughout the season. No one, except the Virgin Voyages team, truly knows whether any of these items were taken into consideration before the cruise line decided to abandon its second Australian season. But I and many others do suspect that there was more to the decision-making process than just the Red Sea. I don't believe that we've seen the last of Virgin Voyages in the Australian market, and I certainly hope that we see a return of the cruise line in our summer 2025-2026 season. A return that I hope has much greater variety in itineraries and home ports, and one that is bolstered by well-timed advertising that highlights just how unique, fun, and truly enjoyable the Virgin Voyages cruise experience is. Let me know in the comments, do you think there's more to the cancellation than meets the eye? And if you're ready to book a cruise, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au, and if you haven't done so already, you can give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. That Virgin dream very much became a reality as Aussies got to sample no one except the Virgin Voyages No one except the Virgin Voyages team truly knows whether the